TS410 is a portable transmission fluid exchange machine. The TS410 can be used virtually anywhere to exchange the transmission fluid in a vehicle by tapping into the vehicle's transmission cooler lines. We'll start with a quick overview of the TS410 machine. Looking at the TS410, you'll see your service hoses, red and black, battery cables, red and black, which are used to hook to the vehicle's battery and power the machine, a fully interactive control panel, a full vehicle adapter kit, a rack used to store the vehicle adapters, smaller adapter kit, manual and other pertinent information. If you turn the machine around and look at the back, you'll also see the spout and cap that's used to fill the new fluid tank on the machine. We'll begin by connecting the battery cables to the vehicle's battery. We'll connect the black cable to the negative battery lead, and we'll connect the red cable to the positive battery lead. The TS410 control panel is fully interactive and operated using the buttons along the front of the panel. The LEDs located on the front of the panel are used to indicate the status of the machine. The machine is set to quarts. These LEDs determine how many quarts you selected for your exchange and are operated by the quantity button. These LEDs can be toggled through the different quart settings and stopped at the quantity you wish to select. The next button is the start button, which is used to start the exchange or start the option that you have selected. That brings us into the next button, which is the option menu button. The option menu button can be used to toggle through the different options that are listed on the side of the panel. Option 1, add 1 quart. Option 2, remove 1 quart, and so on, all the way through option 7. When you get to the option that you want to use, you press the start button, which will activate the option. If you toggle through all of the options completely, you'll return to normal operating mode. Next, we have the machine operation LEDs. At this point, the machine is stopped, which is indicated by the red light. Other operations would include halted, running, service complete, switch hoses, and shift to neutral. On the far end, we have the machine status LEDs. The new ATF low light illuminates when there is not enough fluid in the new fluid tank to perform an exchange at the selected quantity. The used ATF full light illuminates when there is not enough empty space in the used fluid tank to perform an exchange at the selected quantity. The third indicates whether you are adding fluid to or removing fluid from the vehicle's transmission. The last light indicates when you are draining fluid from either the new or used fluid tanks. We'll go back to the buttons now. The Add ATF button is used to add fluid to the vehicle in 0.2 of a quart increments. The Remove ATF button is used to remove fluid from the vehicle in 0.2 of a quart increments. The Cycle Valve button is used to cycle the valves inside the machine. This can be used to relieve the pressure on the service hoses after the auto prime is complete. Lastly, the emergency stop buttons can be used to stop the machine at any point during a service or option. Before you begin your first exchange,
or to purge air from the lines at any point during the machine's life, the auto prime function can be used on the machine. To auto prime the machine, you'll begin by selecting 2 mating adapters out of the included adapter kit. We'll mate the 2 adapters together. Tighten them up. Then hook the 2 adapters to the red and the black service hoses. At this point, your new fluid tank should be filled with fluid. You can toggle through the option menu to option 7, which is auto prime, and hit the start button. The auto prime function starts immediately and ends automatically when the auto prime is complete. We'll begin by locating the transmission's cooler lines, which are hooked to the radiator in the vehicle. In this particular vehicle, the cooler lines are located on the right-hand side of the engine bay, right here. We'll loosen the fitting using the appropriate wrenches. Once the fitting is removed, use the included adapter chart to choose the correct adapters to hook up to the vehicle that you're servicing. In this case, we're going to use adapters 57 and 53. The adapters can be hooked, one to the open hose end and the other to the radiator of the vehicle. Tighten the 2 hose fittings using the correct wrenches. Next, we'll connect the master connectors to the 2 service hoses on the machine. At this point, the service hoses can be connected to the 2 opened hose ends. Once the service hoses are connected and the machine's ready to go, the car can be started. After starting the car, check the hose connections to make sure there are no leaks. Before you begin the exchange, check the fluid level on the vehicle's dipstick. Verify that the fluid level in the vehicle is at the correct level. After verifying there are no leaks, the quantity of the service can be selected on the machine. After selecting the quantity, the service can be started by touching the start button. When the selected amount of fluid has passed through the vehicle, the machine stops automatically. When the machine is complete with the exchange, the complete light will illuminate on the machine's control panel. After the exchange is complete, the fluid level in the vehicle's transmission can be checked using the dipstick. Verify that the fluid level in the transmission is correct, and replace the dipstick. If the vehicle's transmission requires that fluid be added or removed from the transmission, the two buttons on the control panel can be used to add fluid or remove fluid in 0.2 of a quart increments. If more fluid is needed, option 1 can be used to add 1 quart at a time, or option 2 can be used to remove 1 quart at a time. We'll stop the car's engine, and the service hoses can be removed from the vehicle. Be aware that the service hoses and the fluid could possibly be hot. In this case, the machine is telling us to switch hoses, meaning that we have the red and black service hoses backwards. At this point, we can shut the car off and switch the hoses. We'll switch the black and red hoses. And then we can resume the exchange. Again, the vehicle can be started. Check the hoses for leaks. And the quantity again selected on the control panel. After the quantity is selected, touch the start button to begin the exchange. Besides the switch hoses, another possible scenario involves the shift to neutral light. If after beginning the exchange the shift to neutral light illuminates, you'll want to shift the vehicle's transmission into neutral, then resume the exchange. We can now remove the two adapter hoses that were connected to the car at the beginning. Once the two adapter hoses are removed, the car's fittings can be reconnected. Tighten the vehicle's fittings together securely. After the vehicle's fittings have been reconnected, the car can be started and the fittings again checked for leaks. After the service is complete, the battery cables can be removed and all miscellaneous tools and rags can be removed from the engine bay.